everybody, so I'm coming to you from my brand new apartment, which I've yet to fully set up, which is why we're filming over here today. Usually I'm in front of a bookshelf, as you guys well know. But it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday, and in honor of Banned Books Week, the topic for this Wednesday is your top 5 favorite banned books. First one I want to talk about is The Awakening by Kate Chopin. It's one of the first works of literature that I read that was deemed really feminist. And I think it's incredibly important in terms of understanding the roles of women in society, particularly in terms of literature, and this time period especially is really important. It's a really important book, and it's also a really well written book, which is a good bonus. Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky is, of course, what made me want to write, so it definitely changed my perspective on what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But it was also really enlightening on the ways that teenagers can deal with abuse and trying to fit in high school and friendship dynamics and relationship dynamics, and it's really complex for something that's pretty thin. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain was the first banned book that I read in school, even though the school had banned it, meaning my English teacher assigned us to read this and we couldn't tell anybody we were reading it, which made me feel like a rebel, even though I was a junior in high school and I probably should have been actually rebellious. This was my form of rebellion. I was reading this, and I really enjoyed it. I like Mark Twain a lot anyway. I enjoy the way that he writes and the humor and the satire that he puts into everything, and this is no exception to that. It does satire very well. But I also just kind of really love the character of Huck and the way that he interacts with Jen and the way that they interact with the land and the Mississippi River. I might be partial to that since I live in the South, but what can you do? The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath deals with depression in a way that's really interesting. Again, you're getting a little bit of feminism and women's roles and what that can mean, but in general, I really was drawn to this book as a teenager because of the way that it dealt with depression and the way that it dealt with kind of both sides of the manic and depressive sides of bipolar disorder. Especially for a woman who is usually a confessional poet, this is a really revealing work, and I think it's incredibly important for people to read. The entire Harry Potter series was kind of banned whenever I was going to school because I live in the South. But in particular, The Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite, so that's why I'm holding it up. And Harry Potter pretty much changed my life, so I could go on and on about the significance of it in terms of literature, but in terms of the young adult literature, it changed the market. It made it to where it was viable for students, and it made it to where there was a section in the bookstore that was really well respected and really well regarded for people to start grabbing from that were teenagers. It completely changed the literature landscape, and that's incredible in itself. It's also a story about good and evil and bravery and courage and the triumph of love, but also the tragedy of life itself. It's complex and wonderful, and it has wonderful characters, and there's always somebody that you can relate to, and it touches everybody who reads it, and that's incredible, so of course it's important. So those are my top 5 favorite banned books, and let me know what yours are in the comments below, and I hope you have a great week and that you read a lot of banned books because it's important that these works are talked about. This week I'm actually trying to finish Fun Home by Bechtel, which has also been a banned book. I'm also trying to get through Dracula as the classic Alice series goes through that arc. And that's all that I have, so I will see you all next week.